All right, folks, we've been saying it for a long time. Expect Donald Trump to sign an EO regarding the election. Executive order, it's coming. We've been saying this on Nino's Corner.tv for a very, very long time. And it looks like it's on its way, folks. It's an amazing time to be alive, to watch this operation unfold the way it is. I've said it many times also. The Democratic Party will cease to exist. It won't be here. Coming into 2028, at least it'll have the remnants of it, and I believe a new party will come to fruition. Trump put out, I am going to lead a Truth Social post saying, I am going to lead a movement to get rid of mail-in ballots, and also, while we're at it, highly inaccurate, very expensive, and seriously controversial voting machines, which cost 10 times more than accurate, sophisticated, watermarked paper. It's coming. We've said it here many times. Folks, hit the notification buttons. Hit the notification button, like, subscribe, do all that fancy good stuff. For me, all it takes is a little movement of your thumb. Also, folks, Venmo, 𝗬𝗏ROD1977, 𝗬𝗏ROD1977. If you appreciate me, I absolutely appreciate you. When the lights go out. When the lights go out. I was just on a radio show today, and Connecticut radio show, and they asked me if I watch boxing anymore or UFC, and I was like, not at all. Not at all. I might catch a fight here and there, but it's so emotional for me to just have to go back to that past life. And it says a lot. It says a lot that, you know, in life, some things you just got to put to bed and forever leave them there. It's kind of like a bad marriage or a relationship or something like that. Life's about moving on. There's so many different dimensions to this life. I never thought I'd be doing podcasting. Never in a million years. This all happened by accident. You all know this. It's not like I methodically planned out how to be a podcaster. This just kind of popped up. I don't know how this even happened. I think about it all the time when I'm laying in bed. I think about how the fuck did this even happen? I don't know. I really don't know. But it's all up to God, right? So When the Lights Go Out, that's on Amazon. Also, The Mexican Mix, my mama's book. I'll be heading up there today to spend some time with him. I just got back from San Antonio. I had to do some things up there. Man, I hate flying. Southwest Airlines, I think it's like sardines in the sky. It's like a Greyhound bus in the sky. I cannot stand flying that airline. You have to fight for a seat, and then there's a guy next to me, probably over 550 pounds. And I just think to myself, like, is this necessary? Do you have to cram everybody into these flights like this, into this aluminum sardine can, flying like a rocket through the sky? I can't stand it. I can't stand it. That being said, folks, you want to look good. You want to look good while you're flying, at least, right? A recent clinical trial found that participants using just 5 grams of collagen a day for 8 weeks saw up to 20% increase in skin hydration. You want to be hydrated on the flight? You want to be hydrated when you're flying? Hydration and a 17% improvement in elasticity while visibly reducing their wrinkles in depth. If you're aiming to boost skin health, collagen is a must-have, but typical collagen supplements found on store shelves don't always do the job, and that's the truth. This is why I use this special blend of magic, and I'm obsessed with how much my skin has improved. It provides my skin with 5 types of premium collagen. It needs to help reduce wrinkles. I take it every day, folks. I take it every day. Since taking it, I've seen smoother skin, more elasticity, fewer fine lines, and a more youthful glow. Plus, it mixes smoothly with my morning coffee or tea. Make sure you to grab a bag, and it's still 51% off. Only at Health with Nino, folks. It's down there I hit the computer. It's down there at the bottom, folks. Hit the link. Plus, you also get a free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods of Amazing Skin, and 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping with your order. It's worth it, folks. Give it a shot. Give it a try. I'm telling you right now, I take collagen every day. That's one thing I'm adamant about is collagen. X's Nino Boxer, patriotwear.com. patriotwear.com. Nino's Corner.tv is fire always. We got Ringside with Nino. I'll be doing the next Ringside with Nino the last Wednesday of this month. where we war game together. We talk about everything. Anything goes. I mean, I take all answers. I take all questions. We talk amongst each other. We have a little chat going live right there where everyone gets to give their 2 cents on what's going on. And we're on top of the bar. We are ahead of the ball. We're on top of the target. Like I said, folks, we've been talking about this for I don't know how long on Nino's Corner.tv about the EO, the executive order that Trump will sign. It's coming. And here we go. Look no further than his Truth Social post that he just put up. So it's all transpiring the way it should. The Democratic Party is done. It's done. I'm not even worried about it. I'm already on the other side. I'm on the other side of these. The question to me is, will Trump run for another term? That's where I'm at with this. He's going to be in his 80s. The guy's got to enjoy his life. But I think his oxygen, honestly, is Trump's oxygen is work. I think that guy stops working, I don't think he'll know what to do with himself. So I would imagine he could run for a third term. I think that's all going to happen. I do. That's just my opinion. On Nino's Corner.tv, you got Wano saving the ghosts. Joshua Reed's up there right now. Lloyd Brunson's in the house. Lloyd Brunson's up right now. The silver bullet to save America. Also, 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗁𝗂 is going to be the next general in the general tent. That's going to be August 28th, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Also, 𝗬𝗂𝗶𝗱 is coming back on. She's going to make a stop at the corner. And remember, folks, general in the general tent is 𝗬𝗂𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗁𝗂, August 28th, 5 p.m. Be there or be square. Or be square. All right, folks, you might want to turn it down or turn it up, baby. Yeah. Here we go. Every time I fly, I feel like I get jet lag, man. That never used to happen to me. I guess it's because I'm getting older. I'm no longer the Nino. I'm the viejo. The viejo's in the house. All right, folks, ready? Here we go, baby. Yeah. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. All right. Man, everything's transpiring. Now we're going to see who's exposed, aren't we? I got a feeling it's going to be that little weasel I put in the background of my thumbnail. As this all happens, the Putin and Trump talks. Now Zelensky's going to show up with NATO. He needs his reinforcements. He needs to show up with his reinforcements. They don't trust him by himself. Nothing will get done. His little handlers need to come. Make sure everything goes well. As a federal grand jury begins deliberations against Obama-era officials tied to Russiagate. Now, once again, who said that was going to pop off first? We did. Oh, yeah. Another torpedo has hit the Titanic of the deep state. The Trump-Putin meetings seems to have been a success, as both leaders are treating it as an extremely productive meeting. In fact, it was reported that Donald Trump seemed to immediately back Vladimir Putin as they convened for pivotal discussions in Alaska, with a lip reader revealing the moment that he whispered to Putin, "I'll help you," is what the lip reader said he said. What the lip reader said he said. "I'll help you," is what the lip reader saw Trump say. The two global leaders were all smiles as they landed in Anchorage, Alaska's capital, for talks on the Ukraine ceasefire. They appear to be best friends as they stroll down the red carpet towards Mr. Trump's waiting presidential limousine, which I think they call the Beast. Putin has even said he agrees with Trump when Trump said if he was president back then, that the war would have never happened in the first place. That says a lot. That says a lot right there. But we all know, folks, I think my audience knows that this is a deep state contrived war. When you understand what Ukraine is, what it's been used for, and I'll just stop right there. So now it's up to Zelenskyy and NATO to come to an agreement with Putin and Trump. You really think that's going to happen? Oh, they're scared to death because now they're going to be exposed. Oh, well, we want peace, I think. I don't really want peace. I don't know if I want the peace. Will Ukraine have to give up some of its territory for peace? No, that's impossible. We cannot do that. Really? I don't know. Might happen. I seriously doubt Zelenskyy or NATO will agree to any of that. And this is why this is going to get so damn interesting, folks. It's going to get really interesting to see who's exposed. Trump is going to shine a big, massive light on Zelenskyy. Oh, yeah. And in breaking news, federal grand jury has begun deliberations against Obama-era officials tied to Russiagate. Now, I've been told September, October, November are going to be very powerful months for this. FBI agents uncovered evidence of pay-to-play predation in 2016. DOJ leadership and McCabe ordered them to shut it down. To shut it down. We've now declassified the memo. This is proof of political interference at the highest levels. Newly declassified records show that the breaking FBI's Los Angeles field office was investigating at least 19 foundation bank accounts for suspected campaign finance fraud in 2016 to 2017 before the Justice Department shut down the sensitive probe, folks. Interesting. Look how this is all coming out. The floodgates now have been open. I still got to be careful on FluffTube, but, you know, look how much more I can say that I couldn't say last year. Still going to be real careful, though. And I appreciate all the super chats. I really do appreciate that. I appreciate the Venmo as well. I will answer all the questions on Venmo. So here's what's playing out right now. And we all got to be watching this. More National Guard soldiers head to D.C. and prepare to carry the weapons. Oh, by the way, folks, today is gift card giveaway Monday. So hopefully, Alex, you pick out the 4 wieners for the chicken dinners. Gift card giveaway, baby. But you got to be on YouTube. You got to be on YouTube to win. So more National Guard soldiers head to D.C. and prepare to carry what? Weapons. The shift comes after defense officials said the soldiers deployed to the Capitol won't be armed. More National Guard troops are heading soon to Washington, D.C., and they are preparing to start carrying weapons in the coming days, officials say. A major shift that comes days after President Trump said he was deploying them to take back the Capitol from what he described as violent criminals. Now, folks, I also know you know this is all problem, reaction, solution. They used the incident where that poor man got jumped by hooligans to bring in the National Guard. Now, why would they do that? I mean, I could see a couple here and there, but what do you need armored vehicles for? What do you need them carrying weapons for? What are you preparing for? I don't know. I'm just asking my audience. What do you think they're preparing for, folks? I don't know. Could it be clickety-clank, clickety-clank, off to the 𝗬𝗃𝗃 you go? That's what I think it is. And I think it's staring all of us in the face because why? He's right there in the swamp. Washington, D.C. is the swamp. And he's filling it with troops, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't you just love it? Don't you see the writing on the wall? Oh, how many Democrats are not going to return? How many Democrats aren't coming back? A whole lot of them. How many of them are going to start leaving the country? What about when self-deleting starts happening? That month is coming. You know, some people say it'll be a couple days, a week. I think it's going to last a couple months when people start rolling over on each other. Oh, it's coming. And I know you all can see this transpiring, right? And then guess what else Trump has said? Well, you know, Washington, D.C. may not be enough. You know, I mean, what about Chicago and Baltimore and Los Angeles, San Francisco, you know, the Democratic hellholes? What about them? I think they might need some troops too. Gee, why would that be? Let me think. Oh yeah. Clickety-clink, clickety-clink. That's where I see this going. That's where I see it going. And our first good gift card winner for the Wiener Chicken Dinner is Doreen B8951. Doreen B8951. Thanks for playing, baby. Yeah. All right. So Weapons are, they also weren't to have weapons in their vehicles, but now that's changed. Weapons are available if needed, but will remain in armory, the U.S. Army said in press release Thursday. So a lot of people are pissed off. A lot of people are taking to the streets now. I don't know if you've seen this. There's videos of this where people are marching through the Capitol, really protesting. They're mad. They're yelling. They're screaming. You know, all the things liberals love to do. Really mad that Trump is out there cleaning up the streets because we like to walk in people's feces. We like to watch people have sex on the streets. We love it. You got to let these poor people do what they want. They can impinge and infringe their rights upon us. We have no say-so in this. We got to let them do what they want. They want to be in a tent and have sex together and shoot up. Nothing's wrong with that. My kids can see that. My kids know not to do it, right? Folks, you know, I said this many times. I've hit rock bottom. Everybody hits rock bottom. Everyone has their own rock bottom. But you know what? It takes the champion heart. You know, it takes a champion heart to get out of it. You got to pull yourself out of your own life mess. You cannot point fingers and blame anybody else. The day I quit drinking, I walked out of the bar because I wanted to make a statement in my mind. I wanted it to imprint in my brain that I quit. That's why I walked out of the bar mid-drink and said, that's it. If I don't do it now, I'm never walking out. I stared at that drink for a good 5 minutes, debating. I either walk out right now and quit for good, or I go ahead and finish drinking like probably 99% of other people would have done, and I'll start tomorrow. But that wouldn't have put an imprint in my mind. I walked out right there and left. If you want to change your life, you got to hit your own rock bottom. No one's going to save you. Nobody. I think all of us here know we can't depend on shit. We can't depend on anybody to save our lives. We can't. I've learned out through my whole life being a boxer. I get in the ring. My team walks in with me. They all get out, and there I am alone in the ring. No matter how many months I trained with these people and they were there right with me, they get out. They get out of the ring, and I'm there alone in the ring. That's life. We come in alone and we leave alone. And everybody has to hit their own rock bottom. Showing up and giving them free, clean needles and water to stay hydrated while they get high ain't the way to do it. I hate to say it, but it's tough love. And I'm all for Trump cleaning it up. Because I don't think children should be exposed to this stuff. Call me crazy. Hey, I'm all for putting them in camps, giving them the stuff they need there, but out of sight, out of mind. You can help them somewhere else. Maybe you have to drive an extra few miles to go help them out. I don't see anything wrong with that. 3 red states to send hundreds of National Guard troops to D.C. in Trump escalation. Why is it escalating? What's going on here? Whoa. Inquiring minds want to know. The Trump administration will deploy hundreds of National Guard members from Republican-led states, West Virginia, Ohio, and South Carolina across Washington, D.C. The deployment comes as a further escalation of the president's baseless claims. Look at these articles. Oh, these baseless claims that the city is desperate, in desperate need of a federal crackdown on crime and homelessness. These baseless claims. They're all just baseless claims. The move announced on Saturday is the latest step in President Donald Trump's campaign to flood the nation's capital with federal law enforcement to combat out-of-control violent crime. Let me say that again. Out-of-control violent crime. Now, who's going to be activated? The violent criminals in such a time as clickety-clink, off to the 𝗬𝗃𝗃 you go. I love being right. Now, you know, a lot of people come on my program and they say, you know, we all have theories of when this is going to happen. I don't like to make predictions because I've been wrong before. Sancho has been wrong. Sancho has done wrong many times, but sometimes he can be wrong. So I think I would imagine that, you know, I give the window of fall to spring when we can see the first clickety-clank. A lot of people think a lot sooner. Some people think the beginning of September. If you watch Joshua Reed on my show, I think he thinks it's coming. The first arrest is going to come quite soon. I don't know. I don't know those answers. I know who they could be, but I'm not going to put my balls in the line right now and say it. And I've also heard of a date, but I'm not going to say that either. So the grand jury targets Obama officials. It's happening. It's happening. Russiagate breaks first. Then we go into 2020. Then after that, the whole Epstein stuff comes out. Get ready. Buckle up. Russia sees victory as Trump adopts Putin's approach to ending the Ukraine war. For Russia, the results of the Alaskan summit between President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin marked a turning point in relations with the United States, underlined by Trump subsequently abandoning demands for a halt in fighting in Ukraine. Russian officials and commentators were especially enamored by Trump's unusually warm red carpet greeting to Putin. I mean, he really, you know, they say he rolled the red carpet out for him. I mean, he actually did. He gave him the red carpet treatment, which pissed off a lot of liberals, by the way. They saw an opening to pull America away from its traditional allies in Europe. A new European and international security architecture is on the agenda, and everyone must accept it. 𝗬𝗃𝗁𝗂𝗂𝗃, an influential Russian senator, said after the summit. See, if I don't know how to say the word, I just give the accent, and I think that that makes up for it. I don't know. All right, within hours of the meeting, Trump discarded his previous position, one also held by Ukraine and Europe, that a full ceasefire was required to allow the details of a peace agreement to be hammered out. The move enables Russia to keep fighting without the risk of U.S. sanctions and puts pressure on Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy to agree to Russian terms or face open-ended attacks. So in other words, no sanctions. You all have it out. It's kind of like two kids fighting in the playground, except these kids are fighting with fucking nuclear weapons. And you just say, you know what? We're going to let him duke it out a little bit. Let him duke it out. Now, Zelenskyy, you know for a fact, is crapping his pants because now the light's on him. The spotlight is on Zelenskyy. You got to make a deal, little buddy. Don't worry. You can wear your high heels to the meeting. It's okay. After Friday's summit, Trump told Zelenskyy and European leaders that Putin had demanded that Ukraine cede all of Donbass. Just crazy. Which includes the Luhansk and Donetsk regions and other occupied territory, according to three people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity. I said it right that time, to discuss the sensitive matter. Trump told them of his shift from a ceasefire to negotiations on a comprehensive peace deal, according to two people familiar with the matter. Trump spoke to Zelenskyy before European leaders joined the call. Russia does not control the roughly 3,500 square miles of Donetsk. I hope I'm saying that right, folks. A highly reinforced region of strategic importance to Ukraine's capacity to defend itself from future Russian attacks, military analysts say. Trump told Zelenskyy that Putin was ready to promise to end the war and not start wars against other nations in exchange for Donbass and other Ukrainian territory he has seized. One official said, Zelenskyy, on the other hand, is unwilling to give up that territory. But Trump does want a fast deal, setting the stage for a potentially difficult clash. So I'd like to know what you all think. You all think this deal gets done? I don't. Me personally, I don't. But I think it's going to be good either way, because maybe in the beginning it'll seem like, they might come to terms. They may have a deal, and then it goes south. I think they're both out for blood. I think mainly Zelensky's out for blood because he knows his little game is about to end. And the people controlling him behind the scenes, this can't happen. Why did Trump meet with Putin in Alaska? We said no. And here we are. It's about to get real, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump is setting Zelenskyy up to fail after Vladimir Putin's manipulation. Donald Trump knows there is zero chance of a workable peace deal being agreed with Vladimir Zelenskyy while he visits the White House today. So is he setting up Zelenskyy to fail? I think he's just shining a light on him. That's all. He's not setting him up to fail. He's just simply shining a light on him. That's all. He loves the spotlight, doesn't he? He loves those high heels. But Trump isn't stupid. And he knows that he's up against all the promises that he made. And looking at the bigger picture, he could be 5 or 6 chess moves down the line. Trump deliberately is setting up Zelenskyy to fail, then walk away and say, listen, I brought the stakeholders around the table. I knocked heads together. They didn't want to play ball. I'm out of here. In fact, I don't think that's how it's going to play out. But I think we're all going to see the truth real soon. Real soon. So Trump is reverting to land swaps for peace in the Ukraine. The U.S. president's latest statements are a reversal of much of what he seemed to have agreed to with European allies just the past week. President Trump told European leaders later his meeting with President Vladimir Putin of Russia on Friday in Alaska that he supported a plan to end the war in Ukraine by ceding unconquered territory to the Russian invaders rather than try for a ceasefire, according to 2 senior European officials who were briefed on the call. Mr. Trump will discuss that plan with Vladimir Zelenskyy of Ukraine on Monday, today, at the White House. And there were discussions on Saturday about whether other European officials would join him, and now we know they will. So what's your all's thoughts? Put it down in the comments. What do you think is going to happen here? How do you think this is going to play out? My guess is as good as yours. You know, Juanito always says we have to go into some kind of nuclear scare event. I don't know. Who will it be with? I guess maybe, but now that Putin and Trump are such pals, I don't know. Maybe they stage something like that. I'm just thinking out of the box here, folks. I'm just thinking out of the box here. Maybe they stage something. I don't know. That'd be a good way, right? I've heard some things. And if you all watch the Joshua Reed podcast on Nino's Corner.tv, boy, did that guy tell me some good stuff off record, but I cannot say it. But we're in it, folks. We are in it. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. We are fucking in it. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So much so when I got off with a podcast with Josh, we talked about some things. And when I ended the call, I was like, holy shit. It is getting real. It got real. So Trump is to host a high-stakes meeting with Zelenskyy today and the European leaders. President Donald Trump will welcome Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelenskyy and European leaders to the White House today to explore a path to end Russia's war in Ukraine. The leaders are expected to discuss thorny issues, including Russian President Vladimir Putin's refusal to agree to a ceasefire, his territorial demands, and potentially security guarantees for Kiev after the war. So, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, I think he needs to give Candace Owens a visit with his wife and have his wife show Candace the goods right there in her face. That's what he should do. Instead of Macron getting pissed off and putting lawsuits on Candace, you're in America now. Go to Candace Owens Studios and drop your pants. Yeah, show her the goods. Let's see. Put your balls on the line. Anyway. Finnish President Alexander Stubb and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte announced that they will be attending the White House meeting. So he's bringing all his reinforcements to the meeting because he can't do it alone. No, that's too risky. He's got to have his reinforcements there. Pretty amazing times we're living in. Ukraine brings it. Yeah, there it is. Reinforcements to Ukraine meeting, hoping to avoid another White House fiasco. I loved when Trump berated Zelenskyy on public television. I don't know about you all, but when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that's my president. That's who I voted for right there. That's why I voted for him. So, Trump-Putin summit ends with a deal. Without a deal on Ukraine, it's going to be completely up to Zelenskyy today. We're going to find a lot more out today with Zelenskyy. During the Fox interview, Trump cited Putin in his criticism of mail-in voting. So this is where this is starting to go next. So Vladimir Putin, smart guy, said you can't have an honest election with mail-in voting. And he said there's not a country in the world that uses it. It can't be honest. It goes through a postman. It goes through somebody else, somebody you know. When you go to a really well-run voting booth, you go in, you have to hand a card, a picture, or this or that. You don't have everything. You don't have everything perfect. Trump continued, but it works. Russian elections have been rife with fraud for years. Putin, who has led Russia for 2 decades, claimed victory in 2024 with nearly 90% of the vote, extending his rule for 6 more years. It's all cascading into it's one after another cascading. Folks, if you're watching this, we've said on Nino's Corner.tv many times, many times, Russiagate pops first. Then this goes into 2020. Then this goes into an executive order by Trump. It's happening. It's coming. It's coming. And I think September, October, November are going to be very explosive, exciting months. And congratulations, Flint Hills Green. You're the second winner for the chicken dinner. A cheap date with Sancho. I know a lot of you on here are like, I don't even know why we play this game. It's only $25. Hey, well, Sancho never needed to pay for anything before. Okay? So be very happy. All right, that's a second winner. U.S. intelligence agencies have previously concluded that Russia, under Putin's direction, has listen to this, folks. Now, I have to bring these articles up. In American elections. Okay. So a misunderstanding of Russia's stance on Ukraine by Trump's special envoy, 𝗬𝗶𝗶𝗃, may have provided initial impetus for Friday's hastily organized summit, according to a European official and 2 former U.S. officials. Ukraine supporters have felt for some time now that Putin has taken advantage of 𝗬𝗃𝗃's inexperience in high-level diplomacy. In this instance, European governments believe 𝗬𝗃𝗃 may have misunderstood Russia's position on a possible Ukraine ceasefire after holding talks with Putin, and then conveyed an inaccurate picture to European allies and Ukraine afterward, the sources said. 𝗬𝗃𝗃 came away thinking that Russia was proposing a peaceful withdrawal of its troops from 2 regions of Ukraine, Kherson and Zaporizhzhia. In fact, though, Putin was demanding that Ukraine pull its forces out of these regions and give over the land. Yeah. Oh, God, this gets better and better. Oh. You're going to see a lot of articles coming out, folks. You're going to see a lot of them starting now about U.S. intelligence agencies concluding that Russia, under Putin's direction, has interfered in American elections, especially as Trump gets ready to put forth this EO. It's telling me here we're having trouble streaming on Facebook. Is that true, Alex? If this continues for a while, try creating a new live stream. Alex, are you there?
Yeah, so Facebook, yeah, it looks like it dropped off on Facebook, but we're still good everywhere else.
All right, well, we better find out what the hell's going on there, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was.
That's weird. She'd nominate Trump for Nobel Peace Prize if he ends Ukraine war without giving territory to Russia. The former Secretary of State and President Trump's former rival on the presidential campaign trail said Friday that if Mr. Trump, she calls him, she doesn't call him President Trump, Mr. Trump secures an end to the war in Ukraine, with Kiev ceding territory to Russia, she would nominate him for a Nobel Peace Prize. How does she have the right to nominate anybody for any kind of Nobel Peace Prize for anything? Okay, we all know. Can you imagine Hillary Clinton nominating you for a Nobel Peace Prize? I would take that as a fucking insult. Just my opinion. Oh, boy. Let's get to some border news, folks. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. A bunch of stuff's popping up right now. Let me know if you're watching it from Facebook. Just come over to YouTube. If you stop, I guess you're not even listening to this if you're not seeing it on Facebook. So border news, let's get to border news. U.S. halts visas for Gazans after Loomer highlights their arrival at airports. Kind of like what I did in El Paso when I was walking through the airport and all the immigrants were just sprawled out in sleeping bags, sleeping and using the restrooms, had their plastic bags full of toothbrushes, food, combs, sandals, sweats, the whole thing all over the El Paso International Airport. I recorded it, put it out there, and about 2 weeks later, they were all gone, folks. They were sent to Fort Bliss, the army station, the army base. U.S. halts visas for Gazans after Loomer highlights their arrival at airports. State Department move follows far-right mega loyalist, voicing fears of retribution as severely injured children seen to be among the intake. The U.S. has halted all visitor visas from people from Gaza after Laura Loomer, the far-right activist, shared videos allegedly showing evacuees from the war-torn enclave arriving at U.S. airports. All visitor visas for individuals from Gaza are being stopped while we conduct a full and thorough review of the process and procedures used to issue a small number of temporary medical humanitarian visas in recent days. So let me get this straight. Israel bombs the smithereens out of Gaza, and then we got to take them in? Is that how this is working? We're their little bitch? Is that what's going on here? So Israel bombs them and then sends them over here? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to pat Laura Loomer on the back and say, good job on this one. I can't even believe this. I cannot believe this. Friday, Miss Loomer, a mega loyalist, posted several times about Heal Palestine and humanitarian aid group allegedly facilitating the evacuation of Gazans injured by Israel forces to the U.S. for medical treatment. And you know they're not leaving. You know they're not leaving, folks. According to his website, the NGO has helped evacuate 148 people from Gaza, including 63 injured children. You know, I don't mind helping people, folks, at all, but if we're going to stay strict on our policies and say it's okay for you, but not you, we got to stick to it. That's the way I see it. Why can't other countries take them in? U.S. military deploying over 4,000 additional troops to waters around Latin America as part of Trump's counter-cartel mission. Folks, these cartels are using submarines. They have high-tech stuff. They have all the stuff our military has. Let me tell you that. The U.S. military is deploying more than 4,000 Marines and sailors to the waters around Latin America and the Caribbean as part of a ramped-up effort to combat drug cartels. Two U.S. defense officials told CNN, a dramatic show of force that will give the president a broad range of military options should he want to target drug cartels. The deployment of the Iwo Amphibious Ready Group, ARG, and the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit to the U.S. Southern Command, which has not been previously reported as part of a broader repositioning of military assets to the Southcom area of responsibility that has been underway over the last 3 weeks. One of the officials said, a nuclear-powered attack submarine, additional P-8 Poseidon, reconnaissance aircraft, several destroyers, and a guided missile cruiser are also being allocated to U.S. Southern Command as part of the mission to stop cartels. Are you fucking kidding me? I guess Trump means business. Sending a fucking nuclear submarine? Wow. I mean, yeah. You know, hey, why not? Why not? And by the way, folks, if you're looking for a job, if any of you are looking for a job, your kids are looking for a job, maybe grandma and grandpa are bored, they want to find some excitement in their lives. Well, guess what? Guess what? $50,000 signing bonus, no age caps, in a blitz to hire ICE officers. So if you're looking for something to do, I don't know, why not start reining up and rounding up some illegals? Make that your new hobby. Uncle Sam, Miami Vice, when it comes to recruiting new immigration and customs enforcement officers, the Trump administration is getting creative. A social media campaign launched late last month touted immigration enforcement as an opportunity for father and son bonding and to deport illegals with your absolute boys, a slang term for close friends. The Department of Homeland Security has invoked World War era imagery and touted 1990s Superman actor Dean Cain in an all-out blitz to persuade Americans they should join ICE. It's happening right now. The federal government also offered hefty incentives, up to $50,000 in signing bonuses and up to $60,000 in student loan forgiveness. Yeah. No undergraduate degree is required. DHS also lifted the age cap for law enforcement roles, opening a deportation officer position specifically for people over 40. If you're over 40, wow. And tried to woo back retired law enforcement officials with a return to mission campaign. America has been invaded by criminals and predators. The agency said on its recruiting website, we need you to go and get them out. Wow. I think this is good. I just can't imagine someone in their 80s wanting to do this. I mean, no age cap at all, folks. You could do this. Anybody could do this, and a $50,000 bonus. I mean, this is crazy. Can you believe we're living in these times? I can't. I am just in disbelief. It's amazing times. Miami's scooter boom fizzles amid Trump's immigration crusade. If you're not on a moped, or if you're on a moped, sorry, they assume you don't have papers. So people have stopped driving mopeds. You know what they say about mopeds, right? What do they say? They say mopeds are like fat chicks. They're fun until your friends see you on one. All right. The avalanche of scooters and mopeds that flooded Miami was a fleeting as Joe Biden's temporary protective immigration programs. The small vehicles were trending after the arrival of hundreds of thousands of foreigners from Latin American countries were in large metropolitan areas like Caracas, Bogota, and Mexico City. Mopeds are a popular form of transportation. Many of those individuals settled in southern Florida. In Miami, specifically, where public transportation is not up to task of transporting all residents. These new arrivals saw in the scooters an economic and familiar option. The moped boom of 2022 and 2023 changed the face of the city. Mopeds are able to dodge between cars, make it easier to navigate the streets and main thoroughfares, heavy traffic. Their numbers appear to grow every day, but now it's rare to even spot one. So the scooter business is down. Mopeds are gone. The boom went up in smoke at the beginning of the year following the crackdown on immigrants led by Donald Trump, who has promised mass deportations and a quota of 3,000 arrests per day. So nobody's out there riding a moped anymore. You won't see Sancho on a moped. But I will say this, folks. They're still fun. They're still fun. I don't know. Yeah. Ron DeSantis. Got some Ron DeSantis news here. Simple. Every state in America needs to abolish property taxes. I think we all can agree with this one. Governor Ron DeSantis, it's almost like they have to pay rent to the government just to be able to enjoy their property. That's wrong. We need to do something about it. People, their homes paid off. People pay off their homes. They bought 30 years ago for a certain amount, and now they're being told it's worth so much more, and they're having to pony up more and more money for taxes. I totally agree with this, and I think this is going to be out the window pretty soon. I don't know when, but I would say in the next few years, I would bet you the whole IRS, all of it's going to be gone, folks. I'm telling you, it's coming. We're going back to a gold-back system. That's where we're going. I don't know how it happens. I know there's going to be some kind of event. Actually, Joshua Reed talks about the event on Nino's Corner.tv that's coming. And let me tell you, folks, he knows what he's talking about on this issue for sure. For sure. Here's some good World War III news. I have some good World War III news. President Trump says Xi told him China will not invade Taiwan while he is in office. He told me, I will never do it as long as you're president, but I am very patient, and China is very patient. But China is also very sneaky. Who sent the big weather balloon over America? So I guess, they're still planning to invade Taiwan, but they're not going to do it on Trump's watch, which is good. Elon Musk's Doge is investigating wealthy federal employees for fraud. Now I'm going to be bringing on 𝗏𝗏 again, talking about how he does the stock market and he follows people like who? Pelosi. So better join the 𝗏𝗏. When I bring 𝗏𝗏 on, I would say take his courses, learn how to trade with the best of them. That's coming. I'll be doing his interview probably in the next week. Also, congratulations, 𝗀𝗂𝗶𝗹 or 𝗀𝗂𝗶𝗹 6374. Congratulations, wiener, chicken dinner. So Elon Musk's Department of Governmental Agency, Doge, is digging into federal employees whose net worth doesn't match their salaries. Wow. The office, which was created by President Donald Trump, is tracking government workers making a few $100,000, but somehow sitting on tens of millions. Bye-bye, Nancy Pelosi. Looks like you're in deep shit. All right? You are in trouble, lady. We find it sort of rather odd. There's quite a few people in the bureaucracy who have a salary of a few $100,000, but somehow manage to accrue tens of millions of dollars in net worth, Elon Musk said. We're just curious as to where it came from. Federal agencies forced to cooperate with Elon. Trump has ordered federal agencies to cooperate with Doge to drastically reduce the size of the federal workforce, according to a White House fact sheet released today. The plan limits agencies to hiring one new employee for every 4 that leave, except in law enforcement, national security, immigration, and public safety. Nancy Pelosi's sweating bullets right now. And let's talk about some people like Nancy Pelosi. Let's talk about some mouthpieces right now, which I think, like I said, they're going to be disappearing before Trump's term is over. But let's talk about Beto O'Rourke just for a second. Now, he's from my hometown, and I'm telling you, folks, from El Paso, and I can't stand him. Okay, I can't stand this guy. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has secured a temporary restraining order against Beto O'Rourke and his organization, Powered by the People, preventing them from using political funds to financially support Texas Democratic lawmakers who left the state during a special legislative session to block a redistricting bill. The order was issued by Tarrant County Judge Megan Fahey. While a notice of lien was included in Paxton's initial petition, the primary legal action taken so far is a temporary restraining order, not a direct lien on O'Rourke's personal assets or property. Now, from what I'm hearing is he's in trouble, and he's going to get in more and more trouble. So let him get out there on stage. Let him keep talking all he wants. See, these people don't understand. They think it's politics. They think it's the game as usual. All of them do. Gavin Newsom, O'Rourke, they all think this is politics as usual. It's not. This is an operation, and the Democrats are going away forever. This is game over. This is operation game fucking over. Game, set, match. You're done. You're gone. So keep playing in your little sandbox, and the walls will start closing in on you soon enough. It's coming, folks. They're all very arrogant. They think it's the same game. They're still playing in that old paradigm. They do not understand the tide has turned. It's over. It's game over. Politics are never going to be the same. My only concern is if this shit goes AI. That's my concern. Breaking, the World Economic Forum has named BlackRock's Larry Fink as its new chairman. That's nice. That's another thing to worry about right there. Cops hunt multiple gunmen in New York City mass shooting that left 3 dead, 9 wounded. 3 people were killed and 9 others wounded. When up to 4 gunmen opened fire in a possible gang-related shooting at Brooklyn Hookah Lounge, where everyone should be just chilling out and relaxing. It gets shot up. Around closing time early Sunday, authorities said it was a second mass shooting in the city in just weeks, occurring after a nut stormed a swanky midtown skyscraper last month and shot dead, or late last month, and shot dead 4 innocent people before turning the gun on himself. I can easily stand here and tell you that we have driven down crime, that we have removed over 2,000 illegal guns off our street. A grim-faced Mayor Eric Adams told reporters during a briefing on Sunday's violence and mentioning the other recent mass shooting. I can give you those numbers and those stats, but that does not comfort those who are victims of this gun violence, he said. So mass shootings are going to pick up, and like we said it would, as the walls start closing in on these people, folks. I don't know what your all's thoughts are on these people. I don't know if they're mind controlled or they're just wackadoodle doos or they're not taking their meds or whatever the fuck is going on. But I don't know. Put it in the chat. Are we still on Facebook, Alex? Or are we off?
Yeah, we're off Facebook. That one dropped, but X and YouTube are still going good for whatever reason.
Okay, for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll look into it.
All right. Yeah, we'll look into it. In what the fuck news, folks, in what the fuck news, this one really got my heart. This one, I read this and I could not believe it. Alex, I sent you the article on this one. I think I did. Daycare worker. Folks, this is unbelievable. A daycare worker arrested for child abuse as toddler was left with a black eye and swollen face on first day at church-run center. You can't trust anybody these days, folks. Nobody. This is a little boy. A daycare worker in Georgia was arrested for child abuse, authorities said, as the father of a toddler under her care shared heartbreaking pictures of the boy with a black eye and swollen face. Look at that picture. Look at that little sweet boy. Yvette Thurston, 54, faces 3 counts of first-degree child abuse and 1 of first-degree aggravated battery. Do you have the picture of the lady? I think if you just keep scrolling up, Alex. She was taken into custody on Monday following a report of alleged abuse at Little Blessings Childcare in Bainbridge. So this parent thinks, I'm going to drop my kid off at Little Blessings Childcare, a Christian-run facility, and their child comes out with a black eye and a swollen face from this lady right here. So, could we say this was racial? Could we say this was a hate crime? I'm just asking the question. Because if it was the other way around and there's a little black kid that was beat up by a white person, I think there'd be a different tune being played here. Corey Weeks, a U.S. Marine and dad, took to Facebook to share pictures of the frightening injuries suffered by his 1-year-old son, Clay, 1 year old, on his first day at the church child care facility, folks. You're kidding me. This is every parent's worst nightmare, and we had to live it and are still living it. He wrote on social media describing how Clay and his older brother Wyatt, 3, has started at the daycare facility on Monday. You would trust this daycare. Anybody would. Anybody would trust a daycare named Little Blessings Childcare. I mean, they should call it Little Bruisers. Little Bruisers Childcare. Oh boy, I don't know. Folks, I'm a huge advocate for children's safety. They have a special place in my heart. I used to give speaking engagements to schools about bullying, and I used to go talk to the alternative kids. That's the way I gave back to my community when I was boxing. I always felt like I was that outcast in school. I was always in the special programs. I was always the kid that got in fights or got kicked out or detention or suspended or whatever. Alternative classes. So I used to like to go talk to those kids, the real in needs kids. But when I see shit like this, I mean, if you really think about it, this is where these abusers go. This is where they gravitate, right? I mean, I would imagine they gravitate to people like places like daycares or churches or schools. So we all have to be extra careful, folks. That's the way I see it. You have to be extra careful with your kids. You can't trust anybody these days. And the internet has given a portal to all kinds of criminal activities where people just get sicker and sicker and sicker, and they feed their sickness with this crap that's on the internet. So you never know who is going to be a weirdo. So just take care of your kids, man. And, you know, like I said, from daycare to even when they're 20-something years old, I honestly feel, and it's just my opinion, and I don't know what you think, Alex, but I think in America, kids aren't adults, dude, until they're like 30, bro. Like other countries, I think you're an adult when you're like 12, 13, 14 years old. But in America, kids don't grow up till they're like 30. And that's what I'm seeing here. I don't think it should be like that. It should not be like that, but it is like that.
Yeah, no, that's true. And they say that the brain doesn't finish developing until age 25 as it is, which is interesting that it's that late compared to the age of 18 when, you know, you're allowed to go to war and sign up
Yeah,
for
but
all
why is it at 18 that you're allowed to go to war? Because you're still impressionable.
Right.
You can come in and like brainwash you in high schools and shit and tell you, don't you want to see the world and fight for your country, and show you some fucking video of a flag waving and people sailing the seas in the Navy, and then they get you to go. And then, you know, it's just, it's not until you're older that you see everything for what it is, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's crazy just how many of these, you know, these predators are around and like embedded everywhere. They seek out the daycares and places.
Doesn't it seem like they're multiplying? Like there's more of them, and I think the internet is breeding this behavior, man.
Yeah, it's hard to know. It's like, was it just less visible before, like in the 70s and 80s? I mean, people were getting, you know, terribly abused and not able to tell anybody or have any visibility about it. But now you know, it does seem like there's more opportunities to do it with these apps and online ways to try to meet underage.
Well, if you think about it, back in the day, nobody even knew really, because everyone had one in the family, right? The uncle or some fucking shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but it's like, you know, you go outside and come home when the lights turn on, right? And the whole neighborhood is raising your kids. So who knew? Back in the 70s, 80s, you'd see kids every now and then on a milk carton, right? And then you'd be like, oh my God, that was terrifying. But now, like, I think you don't see kids playing out on the streets anymore. You don't see kids do anything. And yeah, we could say, well, it's because of the phones or the social media. But I also think parents are a lot more protective over their kids, in the sense that they're like, man, fuck that. There's too many weirdos out there, dude. Like, you just go walk around the block and you can spot 2 or 3 of them right off hand.
Yeah, no, I know it sucks. And if you don't look up that the sex offender registry around where you live, if you want to like not be totally horrified with how many are, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just you have to just be so protective of your kids, of your family. You have to vet everybody and like watch things like a hawk. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard nowadays.
It's a crazy time to be alive, man, and it's only gonna get weirder. It's gonna get weirder. That's why I'm all for it. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but as bad as society's gotten with violent crime and predators walking around, I can't believe I'm actually saying this. But I'm like, okay, well, maybe I fell for the whole problem, reaction, solution myself, because I'm like, you know what? I don't care if military on the streets. I don't give a shit anymore. Society has gotten that bad. People are that crazy. Mass shootings, predators, you know, anything goes now, dude. You cannot trust society.
I know. I feel the same way. I know, compared to how I was in my youth, like, yeah, way more liberal and just, you know, fuck the police or whatever. You know,
I mean, whether this was engineered or not, I think it was engineered, to be honest with you. But unfortunately, it's like I'm accepting it. I can't believe I'm accepting it because because the alternative is so bad. It's so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think about this too. I'm like, it's like you're going to the other side, but it's not like the other side. I mean, it's order and
you know, if you're not a criminal, you have nothing to worry about, dude.
Right.
You have nothing to worry about.
There's that quote from Benjamin Franklin, right? Those that would give up liberty for temporary safety deserve neither and shall have none.
But unless you're living in a fucking insane asylum like we are now,
right?
Everyone's crazy, dude. You can't trust anybody, dude. I go in the store and everyone looks like sketchy to me. I look at everybody and I'm like, dude, like, fucking don't say hi to me. Like, it's weird. Like, people have gotten fucking weird.
Yeah.
And they're nutty. They're nutty, dude. Like, everywhere, and like the homeless people now are like, they're on strong meds, bro. They're on stuff are like drugs that I'm just like, wow. Like, full on conversations with themselves, yelling at people, crapping in the streets. Like, when have you known homeless people to be like that before? Like, if they did take a shit in the streets, they did it behind a dumpster or something like that. Now they're full on anything goes, shooting up. Like, we can't have that.
I know. Yeah. No, you just can't have it. It's like it's been emboldened or something over the years. And there's a lot of factors, but it just can't be that way. No, we have to have another solution.
And like I said, whether it was engineered or not, I think it was engineered at the highest levels, but
yeah,
whatever. I was just talking to a friend that they're saying that there's a stoppage in opiates or prescription drugs now. So what is that going to do? There's a crisis now in the pharmaceutical companies where I guess they've run low on morphine or whatever pain meds. So what is that going to do? That's going to funnel people into the black market to where they have to buy this crap, this fentanyl, more derelicts, degenerates on the streets, and dude, what if your pain is that? I don't know. I can go on and on about this stuff. It just all seems so engineered to me. And then I think also there's something going on with Las Vegas, because Las Vegas has all of a sudden lost almost half its clientele, its tourism, because they're upping prices everywhere. And I'm like, why are they doing that? Maybe they know something. Maybe Las Vegas knows something's coming and they're getting rid of the riffraff before it hits their streets. I mean, Trump does own a hotel there, right? Maybe they all know, the casino owners know something's coming, some kind of civil unrest, and they don't want them there. I don't know. My mind goes in so many different directions.
Yeah. Definitely something to consider. Do you want to pick the last winner?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go with
get out of the chat there. We're gonna pick somebody.
All right, we're gonna pick last winner for the date with Sancho. Let's go, I guess, Charity Shalom. Clarity Shalom. Is that what it was? It went up there.
Clarity Shalom. All right. Yeah, I missed it.
Did you get it?
I can't see her in there, but I'll take your word for it. Oops. Clarity Shalom, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Hopefully you can find her.
All right,
folks, we're out of here. Clarity Shalom. Congratulations, baby. Yeah. All right, folks, I'm out. Find out what's going on with Facebook, man.
Yeah, I'll look into it. All right, peace out. Peace out, everybody.
And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the Black Sheep of broadcasting, folks. I'll see you Wednesday. Later.